Hello everyone, so we're back on the update 1.81 dev server, and thanks to Vin here, we're actually having a look at the Mediterranean sea map. So you were going to say something, Vin?
Yeah, because I had to set this up myself, we don't actually know where the correct ship or air spawns are going to be.
Yeah, we basically only know the general outline of the map. So if you're having a look on my screen right now, basically the top of the map is around here, and then the bottom of the map is around like a GC13. So there is definitely areas for destroyers, and there is areas for smaller boats. We obviously can't see the domination zones and stuff like that, but generally, the way I would actually describe this map, I think it's actually bigger than a lot of the other naval maps we've seen. So it might be a higher tier one. What do you guys think?
Yeah, because the
Probably.
the spacing between a lot of the islands is a lot bigger than
I think it's
most
going to
of
be
the
a
other
high
ones.
to map because there are modern assets like those wind windmills, I think they're called in English.
Yeah, wind turbines.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, there's one of the first modern maps we had in ground forces was Fulda. One of the big interesting things in Fulda was the fact that we had the wind farms. At least that was something that they decided to show off. And it's the same on this map, as you can see over here. They have wind farms. There's also castles around the place, large houses, and there's even some little areas like here, which have statues and boats and little things which are very much more civilian focused and military focused. And even here, you have like what looks to me like a large synagogue, but it may be something else, such as just some random temple. There's which volcano is that?
I have no idea.
No idea.
It's Vesuvio, I think is what it's called. Because this city or town over here, this is Naples, and then on the other side is the island of Capri, I believe it is, and then basically what they've done is they've shrunken the area between the main island or the main part of Italy, which is where Naples is over here, and then they've sunken it compared to the Capri area. So I believe that is Vesuvio. If I've got that wrong, I apologize, but yeah, it's a big volcano, and we'll go and have a look at it, later on in the video. So the main thing, as Vin said, is that it's compared to a lot of maps, it's very spacious between the, let's call them, mounds of ground, which are mainly populated by houses, trees, and land. But also there's this dock here, and this is the only thing that makes it feel like it's even in or been in a wartime scenario. So you have this big ship here, which looks like it's not just been wrecked, but somebody's put some pretty big fat ass holes in it, making it. Oh dear, this is bad.
Oh no.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. Right, there we go. Yeah, it looks like somebody's put some big holes in it, meaning that it hasn't just died on its own volition. So that's nice. You also have some lovely cranes. You have some smaller cranes and pretty much just things that you would see in any large ports. Being a person who has lived around ports pretty much my whole life, it feels very much like that. Basically this isn't a military port, this is a transport port. So even with the fact that we have these large trawlers which have what seem to be torpedo holes in them, it's still very much a civilian-looking area. That is the best way I can put it. Like, I don't see a war zone here. I see an area which has been plucked out of the world, and a war zone has not even started on it. And it's something that I've talked about before. I like the idea of cities being in a state before they actually hit the war. And I've talked about like a 1937 Berlin, talked about like a 1935 London, maybe even in a New York map, stuff like that. And it's nice to see in ships they're taking the same idea. But the question is, will this map play out differently to other ship maps? And without knowing where the domination points are, I think it might be hard to say, but we may actually see, because of the way that the map is set up. I've hit the return to battlefield. The way that the map is set up, we may actually see a scenario where the domination points are vertical instead of horizontal. Every map that we've seen so far in boats is Simple as one side spawns on one side spawns on the other, and then you have a horizontal line of 3 capture points. Where on this, if you actually have a look at the way that the map's laid out, it's much more vertical instead of horizontal. So in that case, we're going to have a system where you may have a defensive point and an offensive point instead of just 3 points to try and grab.
Well, there is one map that the capture points are arranged as a triangle, so you each have one home point and then the main fighting point.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, there is also the triangle thing, so it may actually be that as well. This having the idea of this main point or home zone. Oh, by the way, this is the MTB, the MTB 1 series, the British Reserve. Hopefully we see the rest of the British tech tree soon for naval, but right now this is all we have access to. Go ahead.
If you haven't noticed, we do have instant reload on, so your Lewis will not be firing like a minigun in the game.
Yeah. But one thing that is really nice is something that I commented on during the dev blog of it. The map looks absolutely stellar. There's something about Mediterranean areas where it's pretty much the architecture, the contrast of colours, everything like that is absolutely beautiful. And it's no difference in this map either. The contrast between the trees, the buildings, even the grey and the black on the mountains, it makes the houses pop, especially when they're bright red and blue. It's just nice. It makes it look a hell of a lot nicer. And as I said, there's a ton of little obstacles, such as the boats and the piers and everything. I don't think you're going to destroy the piers, but you can destroy the boats floating around the place. Is there anything else to say? What do you guys think about maybe, if it is designed for a higher tier, what do you think where the battleships will be? Oh, well, not battleships, destroyers and stuff. You think they'll be out here?
Yeah, I think they're going to be out towards the sea. What is going to be interesting to see about this map is that normally with naval maps you see a lot of nearby islands, so you can quite easily, if you have enough speed, get behind cover. But because of the increased distances between a lot of the islands where the capture zones will probably be, you're going to have a lot more time where you're exposed to other people.
Yeah, I agree with that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in a plane, because pretty much what you've seen is what you get. We've done a circle of the inner area of the map, so let's just get into an aircraft or just get into the martlet. Just to have a look. Oh dear.
I RKO'd myself into the water.
So, not happy landing.
So from this bird's eye view, you can see where we were. There's Andreas and Dog. And that was where we were going around. You can see it is quite spacious. And even though it is a little bit encased. For me, this area over here, where we're having a look, this is going to be destroyer territory. And my guess is there'll be some kind of capture point based around this little villa on this island over here. Since it is really open waters here, which is pretty much the only scenario where you can have destroyers and light cruisers in the game. There's also this interesting thing over here. Do you think this thing's a prison? Like in the southeast?
It probably is. Or it's a weird coastal fortress.
No, I think it's coastal defense.
It has a drawbridge.
Medieval fortress
It also has like a radio tower.
To me, it seems like whenever I played Empire Total War, they made these outposts, like these castle outposts, and they had these 4 prongs on them, and the idea was on the prongs you would put cannons. So you would be able to defend from either side, but also be able to, have a decent arc of fire, so might be that. There's also, once again, another dead massive ship next to it. I really like those dead ships. But yeah, I think a lot of the assets that you find on this map are from other maps, such as like the Italy maps, but there's definitely... Go ahead.
Yeah, they're just a lot of reused assets.
Yeah. There's definitely a few of them which are probably going to be seen as new, but it is how it is. I mean, for me, one of the most impressive things about the naval maps is the aesthetics of them. I think they all look absolutely beautiful, and this thing can't be shot weirdly. But let's go and have a look at the volcano. I believe Vesuvio. Actually, no. Let's go see Dog first. I should have brought a jet. You know what? I am going to bring a jet. I'll show you the new ME163. Because there is a new ME163, the B-0. Has 14
that's
millimeters.
nice.
Now, the other thing about the other maps, the reason why I won't be showing the Vietnam map is because we can get it to work, but what we can't do is we can't find the airfields on it, and we don't even know if they've been added. And also, obviously, we can't see the AI either, so we've only got the base level map. And to be honest, it's like every other aerialistic map. So, yeah. This is the ME163 B-0. It has 4 20mm for your killing pleasure. Yeah, you can see the port from above. It is kind of annoying how in War Thunder, when you get away from something, the shadows disappear and you have to get pretty close for them to appear again, but, you know, I'm running on max and not movie right now. Anyway, let's have a look at good old Vesuvio. See what's going on over there. Also, just as a note, the ME163 has an updated model. The skid's also been updated, and the wheel has as well, so it actually springs up and down, which is pretty cool. Looks like that's some kind of town hall, maybe. Right, so this is the Volcano. As you can see, they've just plonked a bunch of fire in it, and a little bit of red stains, and a lot of smoke. The issue with the smoke is that, well, frame rate doesn't really like it, so just be careful with that. And there you go. Ooh, that's a rough one.
Yeah, it's looking at the combination of the smoke and the fire seems to drop your frames, but it's not something you have to worry about in battle.
No, you're never going to be fighting over this volcano unless you're trying to.
Unless you're being a cheeky helicopter and hiding inside of the volcano.
I mean, when I have a look at the map from this end, if the bit that we were going around in the MTB in looks like a lower tier map, and then the one on the outer bit looks like a higher tier one. But I still don't understand how ships which aren't destroyers and like cruisers would be useful on it, because there's not enough cover for them, so